Prospect Lefferts Guard at several streets blocked off this morning as police investigate an officer-involved shooting that injured a man in the area. News 12 Brooklyn reporter Katie Cummings is at the scene on Sterling and Rogers with the details. Katie?
Asia, people living in the neighborhood woke up to gunshots. Originally, they thought it was fireworks. They soon learned it wasn't. A shot spotter detected gunfire around 7:15 this morning. 3 uniformed officers responded to Sterling Street and Rogers Avenue. That's where they found 31-year-old Paul Mathurin in the middle of the street.
Told him to stop, and when he didn't stop, they fired, all 3 of the officers fired 12 rounds at him.
Those bullets hit Mathurin in his right hip. Police recovered a 9mm handgun, which they say Mathurin used to threaten others before the shooting.
The way this is described by 2 of the witnesses is that total irrational behavior, screaming and yelling at them.
However, those that know Mathurin, known in the neighborhood as Smokey, find the allegations hard to believe.
And they told me the cop shot my friend. He was on a bike with headphones, not bothering anybody, and they shot him. I've known the guy for 20 years, good guy.
Mathurin was taken to Kings County Hospital where he is in stable condition, and the other officers were taken to Methodist Hospital as a precaution, but they were treated and released. Still no word on any charges. That's the latest from Prospect Lefferts Gardens. Katie Cummings, News 12 Brooklyn, back to you.
So the cops telling somebody to stop while they on a bike with headphones on. He don't stop. They saying they got a call saying somebody had a gun, and they just shoot at him 12 times. Shit is crazy. Shoot him 12 times because he on a bike with headphones, like he could hear them saying stop with headphones on. See what I mean? Shit is crazy.
Katie, thank you so much for that update.
2017, and it's work on that train will start sometime in 2019.
Now check this out. Video. Look, cop shot somebody on the 4th of July. Off-duty cop killed somebody. Check it out.
Final decision at the end of this.
Excuse me.
On JT Fat Shit.
The Ford Freedom Sales event is on.
New video emerging of the encounter between off-duty officer Wayne Isaacs and 37-year-old Delron Small. Police say just after midnight on July 4th, Small got out of his car in the middle of Atlantic Avenue and Bradford Street in East New York and attacked Isaacs after some sort of traffic incident. Moments later, Isaacs shot Small dead. Now take a look at that new video. You see that arrow? It is pointing at Small. He is approaching Isaacs' driver's side window when he stumbles back after what we believe to have been when he was shot. He kind of staggers away there before ultimately collapsing. We're going to take another look at it a little bit closer. Again, the arrow pointing at Small, approaching Isaacs' window. Small appears to have been shot, stumbles back, and then now in this portion of the video you can see Isaacs getting out of his car and walking toward Small, who appears to have been lying on the ground. Now Small's family is reacting to the release of this shocking new video.
The video is clear as day that everything they told us from the very beginning was a lie. Was a lie, every single thing. And I don't know how to feel now. All I know is that my brother was murdered. Point blank period, murdered.
I don't think that's a video that I ever want to see again. And he just lacked all compassion from when he got out of the car. All he did was put his gun away and just look and tried to drive off. And I got no idea. Oh boy. Yeah. I know.
State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman says his office is reviewing this chilling video. A spokesperson for his office says the AG plans on meeting with Delron Small's.
So you see what happened, man. They get into a road rage between 2 guys. One guy get out the car to talk to the other guy. The other guy's an off-duty cop. Since he an off-duty cop, he get to shoot the guy in the chest. Then get out his car. They didn't show the whole video. Then get out his car and shoot the guy while he on the floor, like the sister said. Then put his gun away and go back in the car like nothing happened. They didn't show all that though, but they just showed the part where he first got shot in the chest. They show him getting out the car, but they cut the video short. They didn't show when he finished him off while he was on the floor. That's fucked. You know what's so crazy about it? That was a black officer that did it, man. That was a black cop that did it. Like, these black cops out here too is as worse. These black cops is worse than the white cops, man, in Brooklyn. That's a fact. They get a little bit of power, and they see us out here doing what we do, and they think they are fucking bosses. This shit gotta stop, man. Like, this shit gotta stop. They should have showed the whole video. But that, like the sister said, that was too gruesome. Like, the brother just got out the car to see what happened because the guy was driving crazy. They both road rage. Get out the car to go talk to the other guy in his car. He gets shot in his chest. Off-duty cop, get out the car, then shoot him while you're on the floor. Then put his gun away and drive off like nothing never happened. This shit is fucked up, man. Fucked up.
Else. It is those particular officers who are either not well trained or should have never been selected in the first place. It's not what happens in the mainstream, it's what happens on the isolated back roads that makes me concerned.
His ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet.
Well, yet another fatal police shooting, this time out in Minnesota. This woman here, whose name is Diamond Reynolds, posted a live video on Facebook moments after her boyfriend, right there in the car, Yolanda Castile, was shot several times by a police officer during a traffic stop. She says they were pulled over for a broken taillight, and Castile told the officer he had a license to carry a gun. That's when he reached for his wallet, and that officer opened fire. Reynolds saying today her boyfriend should be alive and police should have handled the situation better.
They did not check for pulse on the scene of the crime. They did not make sure that he was breathing. They instantly rushed their colleague off to the side where they comforted him. I was treated like a criminal. I was treated like I was the one who did this. They were very, very racist towards me. They treated me like this was my fault.
And that shooting coming just hours after a similar incident, remember, in Louisiana, Alton Sterling, a black man was fatally shot, and he was shot several times while being held on the ground by police outside a convenience store in Baton Rouge. The 37-year-old was known to sell CDs and DVDs outside of the Food Mart. Federal authorities, they have taken charge of the investigation into his death.
You over time.
The suspect said he was upset about Black Lives Matter. He said he was upset about the recent police shootings. The suspect said he was upset at white people.
You just heard the Dallas police chief updating us about one of the suspects in the tragic shooting that took place last night that claimed the lives of 5 police officers. Texas law enforcement officials have now identified that suspect as 25-year-old Micah Johnson. News 12 Brooklyn reporter John Diaz joins us now from the News Center with the latest. John.
Yeah, Amanda, that's right. Well, a peaceful protest in Dallas becomes anything but that. We have now learned that a total of 2 protesters were shot and 12 police officers. 5 of them were killed. But we have also been hearing that these officers injured, they are doing much better. Most of them actually have already been released from the hospital. Now, the shooting happened last night around 8:45 during protests for 2 recent fatal police-involved shootings of black men in Louisiana and Minnesota. Snipers opened fire on the officers working at these protests. We are now learning more, though, about one of the suspects killed during negotiations. Again, his name is 25-year-old Micah Johnson, and the police chief telling us that he admitted he was upset about the Black Lives Matter movement and recent shootings. He also said Johnson wanted to kill white people, specifically saying white police officers, adding that it was not tied to terrorism. The chief went on to talk about how Johnson was killed, telling reporters officers had him cornered and it saw no other option but to use a bomb robot that they had detonated.
And we tried to negotiate for several hours. Negotiations broke down. We had an exchange of gunfire with the suspect. Other options would have exposed our officers to grave danger.
And the chief went on to say that their hostage negotiator did an excellent job getting Johnson to eventually break down and talk before he died so they can ensure everyone associated with this tragic event is brought to justice. Police say they have 3 other people in custody right now and believe that they were working together. And in the wake of this attack, we are hearing that the NYPD is beefing up security at police precincts all across the city for an extended list, and also to the police scatter chatter that you heard earlier in the show. You can head over to our Facebook page and take a listen to all of that. Of course, keep it here with News 12. We'll continue to keep you updated on the latest.
So somebody was sniping somebody was on the roof, taking down cops one at a time. You know what I mean? So you know what the cops did. They go out, send a robot at him, and blow him up. But they ain't doing nothing about them cops that's out there shooting a guy in the arm for getting his license and registrations. A cop shooting somebody in the face 6 times. But they ain't send no robot at them motherfuckers, right? They let them get away with that shit. Shoot a dude in six times in the face while he laying on the floor. That's why he got a gun. While another cop's on top of his back. But you shoot him in the face 6 times. Another guy in the car. He's reaching for his license registration. You shoot him 5 times. Arm wherever else you shot him at. You got a guy on the roof sniping cops. But y'all sent a robot to kill him. Come on, this is all bullshit, you heard? All fucking bullshit, man. Like, cops supposed to serve and protect, and we out here, we got to beef with cops. Like, we out here beefing with cops. Like, cops is a gang, man. We got to beef up and beef with the cops. Like, come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Dudes out here shooting at each other, man. We need to stop shooting at each other. We need to get together and become one big-ass gang, man. Because at the end of the day, if we all get together out here, we outnumber the cops, man. This is straight bullshit.
As I told Mayor Rawlings, I believe that I speak for every single American when I say that we are horrified over these events and that we stand united with people and the police department in Dallas. According to police, there are multiple suspects. We will learn more, undoubtedly, about their twisted motivations. But let's be clear, there's no possible justification for these kinds of attacks or any violence against law enforcement. The FBI is already in touch with the Dallas police, and anyone involved in these senseless murders will be held fully accountable. Justice will be done. I will have more to say about this as the facts become more clear. For now, let me just say that even as yesterday I spoke about our need to be concerned as all Americans about racial disparities in our criminal justice system. I also said yesterday that our police have an extraordinarily difficult job, and a vast majority of them do their job in outstanding fashion. I also indicated the degree to which we need to be supportive of those officers who do their job each and every day, protecting us and protecting our communities. Today is a wrenching reminder of the sacrifices that they make for us. We also know that when people are armed with powerful weapons, unfortunately it makes attacks like these more deadly and more tragic. And in the days ahead, we're going to have to consider those realities as well. In the meantime, today, our focus is on the victims and their families. They are heartbroken. The entire city of Dallas is grieving. Police across America, which is a tight-knit family, feels this loss to their core. And we're grieving with them. I'd ask all Americans to say a prayer for these officers and their families. Keep them in their thoughts. And as a nation, let's remember to express our profound gratitude to our men and women in blue, not just today, but every day.
All standardized.
Keeping y'all updated on this horrific, crazy cops killing everybody. When people get revenge on cops, it's something different. Every life matters. Black lives, white lives, Puerto Rican lives, Mexican lives. Every life matters. It's not just white cops killing people. Out here in New York, we got black cops killing people, man. We got white cops in New York killing people. We got Asian cops out here killing people. It's all cops killing people, man. They got a badge and they feel they're on top of the world. It don't matter what race the cop is. They get a badge. They feel on the day they're on top of the world, man. Like I showed you, the off-duty cop in Brooklyn. He was black. Off-duty cop killed another black man for road rage. They both was acting crazy on the road. He shot him in the chest, got out the car while Dukes was laying on the floor, walked up on him while Dukes ran and shot him some more. Got back in his car and left him. Shit is crazy, man. But yeah, you see the crowd out there. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there, man, rallying. Black lives do matter, man. This shit is gonna be crazy out here, man. It's gonna be crazy. Like, they shot that dude in the car for no reason at all. Like, No reason. I don't know the real situation with homeboy that got shot in his face 6 times with the red shirt, but the one that was in the car, they shot him for no reason at all. Like, no reason. He was getting a license and registrations, and they shot him. The other guy, yeah, he was fighting with the cops, but that still don't get him a right to shoot him in the face 6 times. They tased him. They had him under control on the floor, the knee in his back. Ain't no need to shoot him in the face 6 times. Then another incident in Brooklyn. A dude riding his bike in the streets with headphones on. Somebody called and said somebody was out there with guns. So the cops tell him to stop. He got headphones on. They shoot at him 12 times and hit him. And then they got the nerve to go to the hospital for what? Y'all didn't get hit. Y'all shot a dude riding a bike. Y'all shot at him 12 times. Shot him in the hip and shit. He can't hear you. Got on headphones. He's riding a bike. So that mean to tell me if somebody's riding a bike and they can't hear you, you're just going to shoot them now? Like, this shit is out of control. Like, they shooting people because they can't hear them. So that means if I'm walking up the block and I can't hear you and I got my hand in my pocket, you're going to shoot me. This shit is crazy, man. And that's real shit. They going to shoot me because I got my hand in my pocket and I'm walking up the block. And they telling me to stop and I can't hear them. So since I can't hear them, they feeling threatened because I can't hear them. They going to shoot me. They going to take my life away from me because I got on headphones. Come on, this shit is crazy, man. They got to do something about these fucking cops, man. They really got to do something about these motherfucking cops out here, man. Gonna lose my life because I got on headphones and I can't hear you. Dude could have lost his life riding a bike in the streets with headphones on because he can't hear them. This shit is out of control.
Hundreds of protesters filling the streets of Manhattan Saturday night in support of Delron Small, who was shot dead by an off-duty NYPD officer Monday night following a traffic altercation. News 12 Brooklyn's Bruna Tumulty was in Manhattan at the protest, and she has the story.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of waking up and seeing another black man die at the hands of the police.
Hundreds of supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement gathering Saturday night outside City Hall, marching through the streets of Manhattan. The protest follows the deaths of 3 African-American men this week at the hands of police officers. 3 in just as many days.
For us being women of color, it's devastating to know that we're in this time and age. And you have to think, like, this is really going on. Lives are being lost for no reason.
Delron Small died Monday in Brooklyn, shot by an off-duty officer during an alleged road rage incident. A day later, Alton Sterling was gunned down in Louisiana. 24 hours after that, Philandro Castillo's life ended in Minnesota. Shot, according to his girlfriend, who live-streamed the incident on Facebook while reaching for his wallet.
It's been too long with all of this injustice, so I think it's really time for us to all come together, especially peacefully.
Lining the protests in New York, members of the NYPD, scenes eerily similar yet vastly different from those in Dallas Thursday night. A peaceful Black Lives Matter march there turned to chaos. Protesters scrambling for safety after gunshots ripped through the air. A sniper perched above the crowd targeted white police officers and hit his mark more than once. 5 officers died, 7 others and 2 civilians lucky to be alive. The man who pulled the trigger, a 25-year-old veteran, Micah Johnson, was believed to have been radicalized by recent police-involved shootings.
It's important that we come out here and show solidarity for our neighbors and our friends. This is an issue of human dignity, an issue of humanity.
Bruna, thanks so much.
Line the streets of downtown Chicago as protests continued late into the night Saturday. Here you can see some protesters shouting at officers patrolling the area. Earlier in the day, protesters disrupted the annual Taste of Chicago festival. In Minneapolis, a group of protesters marched onto an area interstate, stopping traffic in both directions. State troopers were set up on the on-ramp, but the massive crowd flooded through and eventually took up both sides of the highway. Some demonstrators said it's time to take a stand.
I have a stepson who's a person of color, and he's been discriminated against, and I'm sick of it. But it's finally time to do something.
Elsewhere in the state, demonstrators blocked the freeway and threw bottles, bricks, and fireworks at police in St. Paul, just miles from where Philando Castile was shot and killed after a traffic stop. The mayhem overnight led to at least 50 arrests. A similar scene in Phoenix Saturday as protesters of all ages and races carried signs and chanted Black Lives Matter. Crowds also taking to the streets in Atlanta. The protests spanned 7 miles. At least one person there was injured after being hit by a car. And hundreds of protesters shut down part of downtown Asheville, North Carolina. Along with the police shootings across the nation, folks there are angered over the death of Jay Williams. He was shot by local police last weekend. Meanwhile, people are also mourning the deaths of the 5 police officers killed in the line of duty in Dallas. Dozens in Fenton, Missouri, gathering for a prayer vigil Saturday. The event was organized in part by the local Blue Lives Matter chapter. And in Dallas, Bishop T.D. Jakes, leader of the Potter's House megachurch, is speaking out on the wave of protests and says the majority of police are good.
It is not the police that we're afraid of. We need the police in our communities like anybody else. It is those particular officers who are either not well trained or should have never been selected in the first place. It's not what happens in the mainstream, it's what happens on the isolated back roads that makes me concerned.
And President Obama just left Spain after attending the NATO summit in Poland. Obama received an official welcome from the King of Spain, Felipe VI, at a special reception today. The visit was cut short because of the shooting deaths of the police officers in Dallas, Texas. President Obama apologized and thanked the King for understanding.
I wish I was staying longer, and I'm...
Nicole Ryan has more from the rally.
A peaceful and passionate walk from Fort Greene Park to the Barclays Center. Families of all races saying enough is enough. It's time for the community to come together. With signs in hand, they remembered those who have unjustly lost their lives. The event was organized by 2 moms from PS 11. The goal was to create a space for children to express themselves on what they've seen in the news and on social media lately, particularly what they call the brutal murders of black men at the hands of white officers and all those who have unjustly lost their lives.
If black lives don't matter, that means white lives don't matter. If white lives don't matter, black lives don't matter. What I'm trying to say is that, like, we're a team. You don't just base someone off of, like, how they look.
It really shows that the perpetrators of these horrible attacks are outnumbered, and I think we can do something about that if we all make a difference.
And what was so unique about this event is that it was the children who were really involved and vocal about the violence that they've seen on the news and social media, all of them hoping it gets better soon. Reporting from Barclays Center, Nicole Ryan, News 12, Brooklyn.
And this brings us to our question of the day. What's the best way to spread peace in the community?
It's your boy H Money straight out of Brooklyn. Do subscribe to the new channel. Do like the video. Do leave a comment. Peace. Remember, Black Lives do matter.